And here we are. This is our opening shot, our establishing scene. And what they're establishing is that there's two radar here, and one is broken and one is working. And we'll get to that later. Okay, a long ways away. Too far to go on foot. And then, okay, we need a faster method of transportation. Last time we had these introductions and I didn't do anything with them. Okay, craft and build. But I think I'm going to mark these as red. Because I think what I found that marking these as red pops up a whole bunch more of them, and if I had left them marked, it would never have popped these up. So something to protect myself. All right, we can do that. I turn on alternate mode here, and the establishment of these two things is actually important, and we'll get to that hopefully. So do some house cleaning. Do I care about that? I don't care about that. And as always, protecting ourselves is our highest priority. And that's what this is like, kind of the Ming Xiao fight for, or situation for this game compared to Masquerade, in that a lot of players get here and they're like, okay. And in this is the same situation where they start you out easy, as we've seen, and it kind of ramps up and up and up, and people get to this point and they feel like they're falling off a cliff, sort of, and it makes them unhappy. A couple of headlines, a couple from Reddit. It says the new tutorial is way too hard, and frustrated new player tutorial insanely hard. And then one from the forum, the Factorio forum, tutorial seems very difficult. And the interesting thing about the one from the forum, and the one reason I chose it, is because there was a response from one of the developers and said, I've forwarded this to the campaign team for the time being. I'll put it as not a bug, especially because what you've described is exactly how it's supposed to work. And that's the really important point, is that, people say, oh, the Ming Xiao fight, it's the most horrible thing ever. And they say the same thing about this. But here we see the response was, that's exactly what we wanted to happen. And we'll talk more about that later. And I said that's an important point in understanding the original game and and my mods and my patches, because they're all based around that same idea of, well, I understand that you're unhappy, but that's exactly the way I wanted it to work, and there's a reason for that. Anyway, we're wasting time and we're supposed to be doing something, but I forgot what. I got sidetracked. And the other thing I should say is that this is all, prepared and scripted. I'm not just doing this off the cuff. It's supposed to be planned out, and I'm supposed to be knowing what I'm doing here. Although, time will tell. It actually is quite a lot more difficult to talk and do at the same time. I need to power you on. Do I have a box? Can I make a box? I can't make a box. I'm supposed to be building a lab. So many things to do. I already had some of those. I didn't need to do that. I did it anyway. And the same thing is you can get yourself into a situation where you're like, oh, I sort of dug myself into a hole and I can't get out. So what do we want to do next? Did I cap that? I did. Get some of these and some of these and some of these. And kind of the trick to making Factorio work is like getting the mining going strong. So we want to get this thing filled up and going as much as we can. And here's also an important thing is that they put this trick in here, and this is a trick they want you to see and know about, but you put these two miners facing each other and they fill up with coal, and then you can empty them out and you can keep your coal going like that. And then you put them in a round robin of 4, 6, 10. Usually, if you're doing like a speed run or something, I usually put 20 in a big circle, and then you can get a couple thousand coal just by dragging your mouse over them. Okay, here's another issue we probably want to address before we go crazy here. I want to get some power down. How are these doing? Not bad, but they're going to run out soon. So we'll get those going. Fill these guys up. Keep that burning. We're supposed to be building a lab, so we'll do that. And like I said, I sort of have this planned for where this is supposed to go. Although, not completely planned that. Okay. Okay. Stone walls. That looks too low to me, so I'm going to move that up. I don't know if that's a good place or not. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted. That will work. So I have that. Everything is going up here. Oh, I should redo that as well. And the other thing is, we're on the same map. We're on the same map as we just came from. It's all revealed. There's this same box up here. We can't see it again. But there's no box down here, I think because they said, oh, the natives are attacking. Yeah, we better take care of that, actually. Mm-hmm. Oh, no power. Good point. How are we doing? Oh, the trick to this is pretty much everything in the early game is made out of these plates and gears. Plates and gears and green circuits. Plates and gears and green circuits. So you don't really use copper for very much. Except to make green circuits. But what we were trying to get going here is our red circuits. So that we can get this so we're not making these by hand. Our stone walls should be going. Okay, that might be a little bit off. Some of these. Okay, are you going? Everything here appears to be functioning. The next thing that you want to do, well, not that you want to do, but kind of important. How are we doing up here? Have some ammo. Do I have ammo to put in there? I think I must. How about you? Oh, you're not bad. So we get those to 25. And I can relax, I think, for a while. Good enough. Actually, I could probably use some protection myself here. There we go. Aha. It's in the wrong place. Am I set up for this or not? I don't know. I am. And this should be in 2 parts, I guess, because this will probably take an hour. Or maybe more. I'm not sure. It should take about an hour, except I don't know if talking is going to. How are we doing on power? We're just about out of power. And now the thing to notice here is that we only have 1 radar and our disabled radar is gone, and so is what was laying down of our power layout. So now that's all forgotten. So we probably should have done that in the beginning. Well, it's kind of too late now. So we have these going though. So those are complete. And the other kind of trick is to keep your research going, which I'm probably going to. can't do that. Have some more of those to put down. Now I have more ore. I have enough ore produced. And I can turn it into plates. Building these cables, you're not supposed to, I mean, according to the cool kids, you're not supposed to belt these, but I'm out of, but I'm going to belt because I want to. Oops, another miss. Logistics is complete. Get this on the go. It's kind of frustrating that we can't do more than one at a time. Still. So if we have walls, can we put them up? Will they do us any good? Pressure wall. And I don't know if people want to see this or not, but I guess I don't know if people maybe wanted to see just rush through the basics of this and not go through the full thing. I think when we get to the next one, we'll just rush through it. Not rush through it, but probably, well, we'll do something when we get there, I guess. I probably haven't decided. That probably wasn't a good plan, was it? So we have our green circuits. Okay, so this is like the most important thing that you could learn from. This is really the whole secret to this thing is go kill. That would put a stop to them for good. So, and the reason for that is that you see people messing with these levels and they just keep, the biters will just keep ramping up and ramping up, and you can just keep building defenses, but you just keep pouring more and more of your resources into producing ammunition and walls and shooting and refilling and so on and so forth. And the trick is sort of like if you just go out and they're attacking because they are being polluted, and then the pollution causes them to attack, and the more pollution they get, the more angry they become, and the more they attack. And so this whole cycle is what trips up a lot of players, and it's sort of the same as the Meng Jiao thing. They're like, well, I should be able to do it my way, and the developers they're telling you what they want you to do and the easy way to solve this, but a lot of players are like, no, that's not my plan. I want to just do it my way. And they keep struggling with getting this, especially if you're a beginning player, you struggle with getting this all set up and organized and running. Are we ready to go do that? I'm not sure. I let my research lapse there. I don't know for how long. Six. I need some. What do I need for these? I need gears. How many? That will get me. So if I that might be enough. So I need some shooting things. Do I have enough ammunition? Maybe not. That's not a lot. I think I'm going to take this one with me. I probably didn't need to do that, did I? I probably... I do want my repair packs, though. That might be important. And this is the one thing I learned, that if you just go out and kill these bases, it's like a lot of things in life. If you just go out and take care of these before they get big, then you don't have a big problem. If you just keep up with it, it's just relatively easy to take care of this. One more, and then that was the same capsule, which these capsules are kind of interesting. And the whole story of this tutorial is kind of interesting, and I probably can't tell it. Originally they were called campaigns, and you had New Beginnings and New Hope. Or First Steps in New Hope, maybe. Yeah, that sounds right. First Steps in New Hope. And there were two things, and then, so the first three of this that we've already done were the first steps, and then this was the first map on New Hope. But now they're just all five are in, it just called the tutorial. But originally they were called campaigns, and then I think at one point they were called scenarios. But then there was a point which I missed. I think it was coincided with the release of Steam. Actually, I'll try to go and look at those when we get to that point. there was a so originally, I, well, I think I got this game. I got this game. I think in the first week it was available. I can't remember the details, but it was like a fundraiser, and I think there were 2 or 3 levels of donations you could give, and I didn't know which one. And I think the higher levels may have been promised campaigns for the beginning access, and but then that never came about. I'm not sure, but anyway, so the first 2 or 3 levels were always the tutorial, and then that went on for a long time, and then with the release 0.17, which I think was around Steam time, they completely changed it, completely and utterly changed it, and rightfully so. I think that one was criticized because it just was completely weird, and then they since have gone back to the way it always was. And anyway, so I think next time we'll go look at some examples of those. But before I go, I did want to say in the last video, I asked about water and crossing water. And the reason I did that was because in the first video, I ran across some water, and as I ran across, you could see the splashing of the water and hear the sloshing sounds. And I even made it a point to say I'm going to an island. So I'll show what that looks like, and I think that should be it for this video. But I don't want to do that here. I want to do that over here. So it's green, and I want to build it. So now I'm protected on my little protective island. That was a piece of cake. So this is in... Okay, so it started here. So this is in 0.14, which is a 2017 release, and just I wanted to show this because it's pretty much like I said, from the beginning to the current stable release, these have pretty much been generally the same. So these are the 2 little islands, and of course it's quite a bit different, the ships and the everything. But these are the 2 little islands, but of course there's no going across them at this point in the game. That was added later, and the reason for the name of the last video is Seeing Believing. And I guess the kind of the interesting thing, or the point I was wanting to say, is that in the first video you watched that, but if you didn't already know that was important, or you didn't know something about the game, there was no real way to know that anything important was happening. But if you went out and researched, can you walk across water, and in several streams I've watched, it has the same thing happen. People ask, can you walk across water? And people say, no, not in vanilla, which is not true. And other people say, well, yeah, that was added by some modders. So there's mods that let you walk across water, which is also not true. But if you say, yes, you can walk across water, then you'll kind of be, well, actually, you might even be kicked out of the streams. That has happened before. But, you try to not be confrontational about it. But pretty much, it's kind of like the Elizabeth Dane map in VTMB, and people say, oh, you can't kill anybody there, or you won't get the apartments, and so on and so forth. And that's all wrong information, but people will never stop saying that. And I even made a video, where I went and killed everyone on there and went back to the Prince LaCroix, and he gave me the apartment just to show that that's not true. And I kind of walk through the real explanation of what's happening there. But it kind of goes back to this idea of sometimes, you need information, some upfront information to appreciate what's happening. And some things are just get more complicated than others. And like an example of that is on my Vertibird mod for Fallout 3. One of the last comments was that it seemed like an okay mod, except that you can't remap any of the controls, which that's one of the biggest features of the Vertibird mod, is that the control remapping has all been abstracted so that you could, in theory, if they make a suck controller 20 years from now, you could play it using your suck controller. But it goes back to the idea, people just are looking for it to be one way, and if it isn't the way they want it to be or expect it to be, then, there's something wrong with it and it needs to be changed. But if you go further down in the comments, a couple of lines, there's a player that was super happy with the mod and said he got his Xbox controller to work with it using that function. So you have all kinds of people, the people that will read and follow through and understand what's going on. But that's probably a topic for another day. And now I'd like to go look at our current mod in this same 14. So this is the what they call New Hope, the New Hope campaign. Starts out a little different in that you're getting a call from your faraway cronies, and it's kind of the yeah. But it's the same thing. They want you. It revolves craft and build a lab, and it's kind of got the same layout, a little bit different, and a lot of different things happening here. But in general, it's the same. You're missing that the back-to-back miners are missing, and some other things are different here. The ore patches are different. A lot of it has been streamlined and made a lot better in the latest release. But in general, as I've said, the core idea is the same, and has been since, well, pretty much the beginning, or at least as long as I've been involved, which was pretty much the beginning. Anyway, I think that wraps it up for this video, and thank you for watching.